So what are functions? Let's understand it. So let me take one example. So let's say there is a boy whose name is say Akash. Okay, and Akash has got a wedding in his house. Maybe it's a wedding of his sister. So let me write here sister's wedding. Sister's wedding. Okay, so he being the brother, maybe he's the elder brother in the house. So he has to do a lot of preparation for the wedding. So Akash has to do the preparation for wedding. So can you just tell me what all can come under this? Like what all tasks are there which Akash has to take care of? Yes, everyone, please tell me. Suppose there is a wedding in the house. So booking venue, okay? So booking the venue is there. Then shopping, guest list preparation also is there, right? And invitation. I mean that will also involve card printing, etc. Printing and invitation. What else? Yes, come on. Only these many activities? Hello, come on. What all activities you will have to do when there is a wedding in the house? Photographer, okay. So shooting, I will say and shooting and photography. Then caterer, yes. Some decoration will be needed, right? Etc. I mean, we can still go ahead and write down so many other things. So now let's consider that all these things Akash is doing. Only Akash is involved in all these things. So he is the one who is, taking care of booking the venue. Then he is the one who's taking care of decoration, music and sound arrangement, music and sound arrangement, even the sitting arrangements, etc. Right? So taking care of guests. Then beauticians are also needed, right? So many things are involved. I mean, these are just a few things, but a lot of other things will also be required in this whole thing. So if Akash is the only person who is taking care of this activity, so whenever there is a problem, let's say the shooting is not happening properly. So what people are going to do? People will call up Akash, Akash, अरे वो photographer आया नहीं है अभी तक. Then if some invitation is not sent properly, then Akash, invitation is not done. If there is a problem with the caterer, then again Akash caterer problem. So for everything you can see here, Akash is responsible. So don't you think there is too much load on Akash and the possibility that he making mistake is very high? Do you agree with this? Because he's the only person responsible for so many things. So there is a possibility, that he may get confused, he may forget a couple of things, and I mean, certain things do not go well at a particular stage. So what can be done in this situation is, what we can do is what Akash will do. So Akash realizes, okay, this is a heavy task. Now alone I cannot do this. So let me invite my friends. So what he does, he invites a couple of his friends, and there is a friend named Manish. So he says, Manish, you please take care of booking the venue. Okay. Then there is a friend whose name is Seema. So he says, Seema, you take care of the shopping and everything. Then for the guest list and everything, he has a cousin whose name is suppose Rahul. So he says, Rahul, you take care of this part. Then for photography and all, he says there is a friend called as Sheena. So Sheena, you take care of this task. Then he has some one more relative in the house whose name is say Mahesh. So Mahesh will be taking care of the caterer, and the decoration part he hands over to another friend who is like Manisha, and so on. So what he is doing, he is delegating the task to multiple people. So there is another one whose name is say Roma. Then there is another friend whom he says you take care of, all the seating arrangement and everything. So this person's name is Tarun. Then somebody should take care of the guest. So he identifies uh, Aruna to take care of this. Then the beautician thing he identifies. So Rima is there who will take care of this part. So now if there is a problem or if there is an issue with the shooting and photographer, we know now he gives the phone number of these people to everybody. So now everyone knows if there is a problem with shooting and photography, whom to contact? Sheena. If there is a problem with the caterer, whom to contact? Mahesh. So now do you think now the things are more sorted? अगर हम काम इस तरीके से करेंगे, so do you think this is a better idea now? And what Akash is doing? So I hope now you understand Akash is a bit free now. So whenever what Akash will do, he will have a constant meeting with all these team members. उनको वो अपना he treats them as his team members. So he will arrange a meeting and he will guide them what has to be done. He will check what is the progress and everything. So now the things are much better, more sorted, and one person is taking care of one activity. Okay. So what is the important highlight over here? Earlier, what was the problem? One person, many tasks. What was the problem? One person, many tasks. That was the situation. So what was the thing? Too much burden, possibility of error high. That is one issue. Too much burden, possibility of error is very high. And the other problem will be that what is the other problem? Possibility of error is high. And resolving the problem is also difficult. ठीक है ना, एक ही पर्सन अगर सब कुछ कर रहा है तो फॉर हिम आल्सो टू टेक केयर ऑफ द एरर, टू हैंडल द एरर विल बी डिफिकल्ट. So these are the problems that we have identified. So what is the solution we try to figure out? One person, one task. So now the things are more streamlined, better management, easy to identify the problem, easy to resolve the problem. So that is the whole idea. So what we did basically, हमने क्या किया इस पूरे एग्जाम्पल में? There was a big task. Okay, there was a big task. ये अपना एक बड़ा सा task है. So there was a big task. What we did is break it into smaller tasks. तो हम क्या कर रहे हैं, इसको छोटे छोटे पार्ट्स में ब्रेक कर रहे हैं. So we keep on breaking it such that one 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 unit, one task. हम कब तक, till when we have to keep breaking? Till one unit performs one task. Till then we have to keep breaking. So when this is done, then we say the things are more organized. So this one unit, we can call this one unit as a module or activity, or as we are going with the function concept, programming perspective, this is termed as function. Okay, or we can also call it as procedure. So I will just remove this name module because in Python we have one term called as module, so that may become confusing later on. So let's use the term function and procedure. Okay, ये जो single unit, one unit that we have created, that is termed as function or procedure, or we also call this as an activity. So up to this point, if everyone is able to understand this, can you please press the thumbs up? We had one big activity. So doing everything myself was making things complicated. So what we said, let's break it down into smaller units. So one unit performing one task. That's it. That is the idea of. So this overall procedure is called as modularization. Okay, modulation. Okay, and these units that we observe, these are known as functions or procedures. Fair enough, everyone? Okay, so let's go ahead now. Now, coming back, now let's make one. Uh, now, what is the benefit when we go for? Or let me just come to our program. So let's take an example that I am creating a menu-driven program. Menu-driven program. So, what is the menu-driven program? Wherein we provide a menu to the user. What do you want to do? So he says, I want to add two numbers. Okay. Then he says, I want to calculate area of circle. Then next he says, I want to, what I can say, percentage calculation. Calculate percentage. Then the next one he says, what he says, percentage. और कौन सा हमने सीखा था? Sum of digits. Like this, he is performing some task, and the fifth one is exit. So when we perform this, when we write the program, so I will write the code over here. Then if the choice is 1, we have the area code. If the choice is 2, we have, addition code. Then we have the area. Then we have the percentage. Then we have some digits, etc. So like this, we are writing the code. So what is happening? In my one program, I have accommodated everything. This is my one program. So this is my one program, which is doing everything. So when I run the program and I see there is a problem, then I have to, go to each and every lines and understand where the problem is. So everything is being done inside this program. So that is making the things complicated. And moreover, one more thing that will happen, we discussed the concept of loop, right? What was the idea of loop? You have this block of code. So we say repeat this block n times. That was the purpose of loop. So what this loop is going to do, this block will be repeated n times. So it will repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So n times the block will be repeated. But what if I have a little bit different requirement? I have a block of code, then I want this block. So this block I want, let's say the block name is A. Then another set of statements we have, then we have this block A. Then another set of statements and then this block A. So every time I want to execute that particular block, but after a certain gap, when you directly apply the loop, what happens? It runs n times at that place itself. There is no gap. But what I'm saying, let me do something, then I will call you. Let me do something, then I will use you. Then let me do something, then I will use you. So there is a kind of gap that I'm trying to have. So this thing is not possible with loop. Are we clear on this? Can we achieve this using loops? No. right? So that is one thing. And so if I, but, and one more thing, don't you see that if I go ahead and write this block is being repeated, this block is being repeated, this block is being repeated. So too much of repetition of the code is there. Can you see this? The code is being repeated. Everybody can understand it. So that is why we have to, improvise. Something better we have to do. So why to give the whole task to one person? Why not have a thing like let's put it once. Let me define this block. Let me write this block once. And when I'm writing the code, I will just use it here. Then I have a block of code, then use it here. Then I have a block of code, then use it here. So what am I doing? Write one, use many times. Do you see the difference now? We write this block once, but we are going to use it multiple number of times. Are we able to understand this diagram? How this diagram is different and how this one is different? ये difference आपको clear हो रहा है? Okay. And now coming back to modularization. So instead of putting everything over here in one single code block, what I will do is I will create one block. This is for addition. There is another block which is for area. There is another block which is for sum of digits. There is another block which is for percentage. Then whenever I'm writing the code, whenever I will need addition, I will call this block. Whenever I need area, I will call this block. Whenever I need sum of digits, I will call this block. Whenever I need percentage, I will call this block. So I am writing it once and I am calling, or I can say using wherever needed. Wherever I need it, I can simply use it. You get that, everyone? So if there is a problem with addition, I know whom to catch. If there is a problem with area, I know which area I have to, focus on. If there is a problem with the sum of digits, I know this block has some problem. So now the things are more sorted. You get that, everyone? Is everyone with me? समझ में आ रहा है सबको? हमारे पास एक बड़ा सा टास्क था. What we did, we broke it into smaller units and we create them as a reusable building blocks. So these are my reusable building blocks. What are these? These are my blocks. These are my blocks. So these are my reusable blocks. So that is the biggest advantage of using functions. So these small entities that you observe, they are called functions. So the biggest advantage is these are reusable blocks. We write once, and we use them many times. Okay. So that is the basic concept or the idea behind functions. Okay. So now you should be able to understand that why it is so important. I was telling you yesterday, right? This is very important because that is how you are now going to write the professional type of code. Till now, we were learning the basics, right? How to actually start writing the code, how to print something, and so on. But now we are going to get into a little bit professional approach, how actually the coding is done. Fair enough, everyone? If everyone is okay till this point, can you please give me a thumbs up that we will go to the real syntactical part of it? All right. So now let's get into the syntax part. Concept-wise, we have understood the things. So now we can just save it. The session. Yesterday, I had uploaded the entire folder. I hope you all have seen it. Could you see the whole folder on the drive? Okay, cool. Now let's come to the syntax part. So to understand the syntax, let's understand a couple of things. So this is one entity. Okay, I want this unit to perform some task. Let's say I want this unit to perform addition of two numbers. I want this unit to perform addition of two numbers. So this entity will say, okay, you want me to add two numbers, right? So give me two numbers. So I will have to give two numbers to this unit. So let's assume that the two numbers are x and y. Then this unit will perform the addition of two numbers and it will generate the result. So this is my result. So this data that we are supplying, these are called as the inputs and this is our output. Now, in terms of function, the inputs that we are supplying, these are termed as parameters. And the output that we get is termed as the return value. So we have the input parameters. There is a task block. This will be the block of code. And then we have some return value, just some result, which you suppose I am the person who is doing the addition, right? So I will ask you, okay, give me two numbers. You give me the two numbers. So those two numbers are my input. I take it, I perform the addition, and I give the result to you. So the result that I give you is called as the return value. Understood? Everybody okay till this point? Okay. So whenever we are dealing with functions, there will be two things that will come into picture. One is the function definition, and the second one is using the function. Using, or in other words, we can say calling the function. So these are the two things. When you go for C, C++, etc., there is one more unit that is called as function declaration. Function declaration. But in in Python, we don't have this. This unit is not present. So those who do not have C background, you don't have to worry about it. I'm just giving a, what I can say, reference to C people, that if you are from C, C++ background, function declaration is mandatory or it is needed. But here we don't have such concept in Python. So I want you to note it down, everybody. Understand and note it down. Okay, while you're writing, you just think that you have understood and then write it. So just press the thumbs up once you are done. Yes, everybody is done? All right. So now coming to the first part, that is the function definition. So let me just write the syntax. Syntax, when we say syntax, what is the meaning of syntax? It is the rule. So we use the def keyword, def. Then we have the name of function. Then we use a pair of simple brackets. Here we will have list of parameters. And then a colon sign is there. After that, you have the code block. So here we will have the block of code. So that is the part of function definition. This was function definition. And then comes the function call. So how to call the function? We use the name of the function again. Name of function. Okay. And then we have to pass the data to this function. जो भी data आपको चाहिए वो आप data यहाँ पे pass करोगे. So now what is this data? This data is then termed as, ये जो data है इसे हम कहते हैं, this is termed as argument. So first you just write it down. I will explain this whole thing using an example. The syntactical part you write down and press the thumbs up. Then I will explain it using some example. Done? Everybody is done? Shall I proceed? Okay. So let me take an example. Now, before I take example, based on this information, we can have function types of functions. Now, types of functions, we can have two ways of categorizing it. One based on the value we are passing and the return value. So, no parameters. Or let me write here, functions with no parameters and no return values. Okay, hold on, Param. Functions with parameters and return value. Function with no parameter and return value. Function with parameters and with return value. So these are the categorization based on parameters and return values. So this is one categorization. We have one more categorization, types of functions One is built-in function and one is user-defined function. So built-in function is how we define. So just write it down, everyone, and then I will explain this whole thing. Param, did you join late today? Hello, Param.
यस मैम.
आज लेट ज्वाइन हुए क्या तुम?
हाँ.
तो स्टार्टिंग का पूरा मिस कर दिया फंक्शन का
हाँ.
कॉन्सेप्ट. ठीक है, आई विल डू क्विक रीडिंग. So shall I proceed, everyone? Is it done? I can see confirmation from Janvi and Shreya. Others, please confirm. Okay. Now moving ahead, so let me do a quick recap. So I think so, Param, I have discussed a lot of things, so you may go through the recording. Just one idea I will give you, that whenever we have a program, okay, in a program we have lot of tasks, lot of things we have to do. So from these units we pick up a small entity, okay, and we define it separately as a block. So this is my separate block. What is the advantage? I can use it n number of times. So this is my reusable entity. So this unit, we call this as a function. This is a reusable block that we have created and we can use it whenever needed. Understood? So I just gave a background of how we create a reusable block and everything. Now there is some syntactical part of it. So we have the name of the function, def keyword, etc. Now let's understand this, as I said, with an example. So we will go for the first word. I'll first explain this part. So function with no parameters and no return value. So let's take an example to understand this. Suppose suppose I call Shreya and I say, Shreya, can you please switch off the fan? So Shreya will just stand up from her seat. She will go switch off the fan and come back and sit there. So in this particular scenario, I did not give any physical thing to Shreya. Shreya went and did the task, but she did not return anything to me. That is the case of no parameters and no return value. Are you understanding? I am asking you to perform the task, but I don't give you any data to do the task. You also perform the task, but you don't give me any data back. That is the idea of function without parameters and without return value. So let's understand this with an example. So let's say I want to calculate the sum. So sum of numbers. Okay, I'm not passing any data. So if I'm not passing any data, this simple bracket will be blank. Then, but I need the numbers, so I will take input from the user. I will take another input from the user. I will calculate the sum and I will print the result. That's it. So if you observe this case, what we have done, there is no data. So data I am not passing. This unit will perform the task, but is it returning something? Result or return value? Return value is not there. So no input, no return value. That is the case of the first one, that is no parameter and no return value. Are we clear on the first one, everyone? Case one is clear? If yes, please press the thumbs up. Shreya, you did not understand. Okay, Shreya, please focus here. There is one task, okay? What is the task? You have to find the sum of two numbers. To find the sum of two numbers, I am not passing any data. I am not giving you any data. So if I don't give you the data, you have to accept input from the user. You perform the task, you display also. That's it. So I did not pass any data. No data is being passed. You calculate, you print it, but you do not return it back. You don't give me anything. That is the idea of function with no parameter, no return back. ठीक है अभी नहीं भी समझ में आया तो कोई बात नहीं just take it down when we go for the other one you will get more clarity okay all right so yes you can take it down or let me just write it in VS code that will be better case 1.5 sum of so here we have the sum of number that is one entity we accept the two numbers we calculate the summation and we print the result so this whole task we have done so this first part that you observe here that is my function definition And this also is our case 1, which is function with no parameters and no return value. Okay. Now, what is the next thing? We have to do the calling or using the function. So how to use the function? I have to use the name. Now, to this, I am not going to pass any data. So to this function, I'm not passing any data. So I'm not providing any data. And neither this function is giving me any return value. So no input, no output. That's it. So this is how we define or we call the function of this format. Now we have to simply execute this. So let me just run this. So first number is, let's say, 12, 13, 45 is the answer. Now, I want you all to quickly go ahead and type this code because I have to show you something else also, something different we are going to learn today. So please type the code. And you may just test it by running it once, then I will explain you something interesting. Finished, everyone? Okay, Vasant and Shreya are done. I will just wait for 1 or 2 more minutes. Others, please confirm. I wanted you to type it, okay? Explicitly, I told you to type the things because I want you to do something along with me the next step. Yes, Param, Janvi, Surikavi, Lahorika, Nikam, Gauri Shankar, Lasya, Rajat, done? Okay. Now watch everyone. There is one procedure called as debugging. What am I explaining you now? I'm going to explain you a procedure called as debugging. Sometimes what happens, our program is not giving us the desired result and we don't understand what is happening, where the things are going wrong. So this step helps us to understand where the things are going wrong. So whenever we want to go for debugging, what we have to do is we have to add a breakpoint. So for this line, I am putting a breakpoint. So just you can see, you just bring your mouse over here. You can see click to add a breakpoint. So just add a breakpoint to in front of this function call. Now let me ask you a question. When I'm running this code, which line will be executed first? Forget about debugging, forget about the breakpoint and everything. Simply you have a code in front of you. I have some lines written 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Which line will be executed first? Tell me. रन करेंगे तो सबसे पहले कौन सी लाइन सबसे पहले रन होगी? You have to tell me the line number. Line number 12, Janvi is saying. What about others? You just have to guess, okay? I don't expect a perfect answer from everybody. I just want you to guess, like suppose we run this program, which line will be the first one to get executed? Will it be line number 1, 2, or 4, or 12? Digambar is saying line number 5, okay? Yes, others? Something you just guess, right? तुम्हारे दिमाग में भी कुछ होगा ना कि ये ऐसा एग्जीक्यूट होगा. So what number you have in your mind? Just tell me. It's okay to be incorrect, but at least we should think. Vasant is saying line number 4. Okay. So this is this debugging process gives us a lot of clarity about how internally Python is running this code. So how to debug my code? First step, as I said, you have to add a breakpoint. Then you come over here. You can see the triangle. Just besides the triangle, there is one drop down arrow. Click on the drop down arrow. You will find, can you see this? Debug Python file, the second last option. Just click on that. What happened? Hold on. So now the debugging procedure has started. Something is going wrong. Hold on for a second. Okay. Multiple debuggers are running. Let me stop this. Video some. So now actually some mistake I did, multiple times I executed. So now can you see where the line is flashing? Which line is flashing? Can you see this? Can you just guess where are we right now? Everybody? Which line number? Just look at the screen. We are at line number 12. So 12 is the point which is the starting point. So function call, wherever we have written that, that is our first line of code right now. I will give you another example also, but right now are we clear on this? Usually the function definition part is not executed, okay? The place where there is no function definition, that part is executed first. So we are here. Now from here, it is a function call. So when we say function call, what you think, what should be the next line to execute? इसके बाद कहाँ जाना चाहिए हमें? We should go to which line number? Line number 4. So how do we do that? So for that, you have to press F11 on your keyboard. F11, F11. Press F11. So do you see this? वो actually वो 4 से 5 में जाता है. So it will jump to line number 4 and then 5. Okay, so if I press, now we have to continue with this line. So I will have to press F10. Okay, I'll just press F10. So can you see here? It says enter the first number. So let me enter the first number. I hit enter. The moment I hit enter, you can see now I am on the second line. Again, I will press F10. It will ask me to enter this. Can you see I am on this line? Now, you just bring your mouse over here. Can you see everyone? It is showing me right now what is the value in X, what is the value in Y. Everybody can see this? Now, if I press F10, just normal step by step if you want to go. Now, can you see very clearly it is showing me what is the value in Z? Now, our job is done. We come back. And this is the end of my program. So, if you want to go step by step, you have to press F10. If you want to get inside the function, go inside the function. Let me write here. Step by step, you will be pressing F10. Step into function. So for that, use F11. So would you please try this, everyone? Everybody, go ahead and try this. And if you are facing difficulty, you ask for help, okay? मुझे पूछना है. Just ask me if you are not able to do the debugging. I'm repeating how you will do the debugging. This function call, you add a breakpoint. Okay, over here you have to add a breakpoint. How you add a breakpoint? Just bring your mouse here and click. That will add a breakpoint. And then from this section, you have to click on debug Python 5. It will bring you over here. And from here, you will press F11 to jump into the function. Now here, further jumping is not possible. So I will press F10. F10 will make you ask, you have to perform the task then. Then again F10. Then you have to type something here. Then F10. Then finish. So everyone, please try this. And confirm once you are done. Yes, everybody, are you able to do the debugging? सबको समझ में आ रहा है क्या करना है? Hello, can you please confirm everyone? Are you able to do the debugging? Yes or no? Whatever it is, confirm please. So 2 thumbs up I've got. What about others? Vasant is also able to do good. So do you think this was a good thing that we learned today? Now we know, right, how the program proceeds further. Okay, so this was the case of function without parameters and no return value. Now let me just do a file save as. You can also follow the same procedure. You will proceed with the case number 2. So what is case number 2? Case 2, function with parameters and no return value. So with parameter means I am expecting 2 parameters here. That means you are giving me the data. So the 2 parameters will be provided over here. So in this case, when you are calling the function, at that time you should be passing me the data. You realize the difference now, everybody? अभी हमें क्या चाहिए? What we want? To this function, we are going to pass the data, right? So this is my first parameter, this is my second parameter. To 2 parameters we are passing. So while calling, what is the number of parameters expected here? 2. So you have to pass the 2 parameters. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to start a bike. Start a bike. So can you tell me how you start the bike? The latest type of bikes I'm asking. How do you start a bike normally? Yes, come on. All of you know, right? How to start the bike? Hello? Hello, hello. Am I audible? How do you start a bike, everyone? You first insert the key and maybe you can have the start button. You press the start button to start the bike. I'm just making it simple. These are the 2 steps we will perform. Yes or no? Simple, I'm saying. So you just insert the key, you press the start button. So these are the 2 parameters needed. If I don't insert the key, I push the start button. Will the bike start? No. If I insert the key, but I don't hit the start button, will the bike start? No. So this is also needed, this is also needed. So if you are saying 2 parameters, you have to pass 2 values. So this 12 and 34 are my arguments. The values that we are passing, those are termed as arguments. These values are called as parameters. So 2 inputs I am providing here to perform the task. So this is the case with function with parameters and no return value. So here I have hard coded the value. This is one way. Okay, let me just again have the breakpoint and let's do the debugging. And let me press F11. What happened? So can you see this? X value is 12, Y value is 34 because that is what we passed. And then it will do the calculation and come back. So that is the case number 2 where we are passing the values but not expecting any return value. So here I have what I can say. I have hard coded the value, but what you can do is you can accept some input from the user. So I can use the same variables x and y, or I can use different also. That doesn't make a difference. But I will explain this in more detail later. How does it matter by using the same variable name or different? That we will understand later. Just execute this, everyone. This is the case number 2. After this, we will go ahead with the test. I told you, I had informed you earlier that today we are going to have a test. So is everyone ready for the test today? Okay, cool. So please do this, and after that we will proceed with the test. It is a very simple test, very basic test. No if else, no for loop, no function. Okay, simple test. So please complete this and let me know. So did you all understand case number 1 and case number 2, everybody? Can you please confirm? Case 1, case 2, everyone has understood? So Janvi is saying yes. What about others? Param, Shreya, Laurika, Surikavi, Rajat, Gauri Shankar. Everybody is clear? Okay. So shall I continue now? Shall I continue with the test? Everyone is done with this? Once I see your thumbs up, I will start with the test. Okay. So just waiting for your confirmation, everyone. All right. So I see a confirmation coming from a lot of students. So let me just start taking things. Now, I request you all to just be honest. You don't have to copy this. So this is nothing. I am not like your college teacher who is going to give you some assessment marks or something. This is a practice we are doing for the placement, right? When you go for the machine round, you have a question to solve. So that is how you are going to, handle that. So for that purpose, we are taking up this step. So let me just hold on for a minute. I will share the question paper with you. What you have to do is you will open your VS Code. In your VS Code, you will be typing like question number 1, question number 2, like that, one by one. One question, one program. So separate programs you will be doing. And after that, I will share my email ID. You have to just mail the code to me on my email. Fair enough, everyone?
मैम एक बार फिर से बताओ ना, वो क्या आवाज कट
क्या
रही थी
बताऊं?
ना, ये जो
आज
आपने
टेस्ट है।
एग्जाम के लिए। हाँ,
हाँ, अभी अभी टेस्ट होगा। तो मैं क्वेश्चन पेपर शेयर करूंगी आपको। ठीक है, आप उसको सॉल्व करेंगे VS कोड में या जिसमें भी, कोई भी एडिटर में आप उसको करोगे। फिर आपको मुझे वो सेंड करना है, ईमेल करना है सॉल्यूशन। अंडरस्टूड? हेलो।
यस मैम, अंडरस्टूड।
ओके। So your time starts now. It is 11:10 right now. Mm, Is it visible properly, everyone? Can you see the paper? Okay. So in all, there will be So total 4 questions are there, right? So these are the 4 questions that you have to solve. I hope all the 4 questions are visible to everyone. So your time starts now. So deadline will be up to 12. Okay. But if everyone is not able to complete, I will just extend it a little bit. Okay. So trainer at the rate firstbitsolutions.com is the email ID to which you have to mail your solution. Okay, you can create a zip file or you can send the independent file. Just try to send one email to me. Okay, don't send multiple emails. Generative AI batch test number 1. That will be the subject line and your name. Once you send an email to me, please wait for my confirmation. I will tell you that yes, I have received your email. Then only you leave the class. Okay. Suppose you say you've sent an email and I may not receive it. Okay. So just confirm from me and then only you leave the batch. Okay. If you are not able to understand any particular question, you can ask me. Okay. To get more clarity.
मैम
हाँ बोलो।
ये फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन में मैथ लाइब्रेरी यूज होगी?
एक मिनट।
ये जो फर्स्ट वाला क्वेश्चन है ना, उसमें।
आप उसके बिना भी कर सकते हैं ना, जरूरी नहीं है। मैंने वो सिखाया नहीं है तो आई डोंट एक्सपेक्ट यू टू डू दैट। अगर तुम पाई के लिए बोल रहे हो तो डायरेक्टली 3.14 ले लो।
ओके ओके।
ठीक है।
मैम,
हाँ बोलो।
ये जो पहला वाला क्वेश्चन है ना,
हाँ
उसके ये जो फाइंडिंग फॉर्मूला होगी वो क्या होगी क्या, वो नहीं समझ में आ रही है।
देखो, अभी अपने को क्या करना है, इसमें एरिया निकालना है, एरिया
हम्म।
निकालना है और पेरीमीटर निकालना है, ठीक है। तो ये एक्चुअली इस तरीके से अपन इसको दो भाग में बांट सकते हैं। तो ये आधा सर्कल है और एक रेक्टेंगल है। तो इसके
हम्म।
लिए लेंथ चाहिए, ब्रेथ चाहिए, या या तो तुम इस सर्कल का रेडियस ले सकते हो, तो रेडियस का 2 टाइम्स होगा तुम्हारा ब्रेथ, ऐसा बोल सकते हो।
એટલે उसकी फॉर्मूला ऐसी कुछ होगी, लेंथ इनटू
नहीं नहीं नहीं,
ब्रीथ।
सुनो सुनो, पेरीमीटर अगर मैं फॉर्मूला बता दूं तो एक्चुअली, तो पेरीमीटर क्या होगा, लेंथ, पेरीमीटर मतलब पता है ना, आउटर वाला जो पार्ट होता है। तो ये क्या हो जाएगा, लेंथ प्लस ये वाला ब्रेथ हो जाएगा, और ये हाफ सर्कल है। हाफ सर्कल मतलब सर्कल का सरकमफ्रेंस, सरकमफ्रेंस का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है, 2 पाई आर, लेकिन ये आधा है, तो यहाँ पे क्या लिखना पड़ेगा, मुझे पाई आर लिखना पड़ेगा।
फिर
यू
आप
गेट
आप
दैट
एक
नाउ।
बार फॉर्मूला फिर से बोलो ना।
ये वाला पार्ट एल होगा, ये वाला पार्ट एल होगा, बराबर है। नाउ दिस इज आर, सपोज ये वाला आर है, तो ये भी आर है, मतलब दिस होल थिंग इज 2 आर। तो इतना पार्ट अगर मुझे लेना है, तो ये क्या हो जाएगा, 2L+2R, ये वाला पार्ट हो गया कवर। अब ये आधा सर्कल, तो आधा सर्कल, सर्कल का होता है 2 पाई आर, पर मुझे आधा सर्कल चाहिए, तो ये क्या हो जाएगा, पाई आर। तो दिस विल बी द पेरीमीटर। व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला फॉर द एरिया, एरिया मतलब ये पूरी चीज हो जाएगी, दिस होल थिंग। सो एरिया के लिए लेंथ इंटू ब्रेथ, ब्रेथ अपना क्या है, 2R, so that will be the area of the rectangle plus area of the circle क्या होता है, पाई आर स्क्वायर। तो लेकिन ये आधा है, तो पाई आर स्क्वायर बाय 2, that will be the total area. Is everybody able to understand this?
ओके मैम।
बाकी लोगों को भी समझ में आया? Okay. अच्छा सॉरी, तुम लोग को मैं जो लिख रही हूँ वो दिख नहीं रहा है क्या? वेट वेट वेट,
नहीं दिख रहा है मैम।
हाँ वही वही मुझे समझ में आया, एक मिनट। सो लेट मी राइट इट वन मोर टाइम, क्योंकि वो तुम्हें दिख ही नहीं रहा था। तो ये वाला जो पार्ट है, ये लेंथ हो गया, ओके, ये भी लेंथ हो गया। नाउ दिस इज द रेडियस, तो ये रेडियस है, तो ये भी रेडियस होगा, मतलब ये वाला पार्ट जो होगा वो 2R होगा। अभी आ रहा है समझ में? तो इफ यू कंसिडर दिस पार्ट फॉर द पेरीमीटर, इतना हिस्सा लेना है, तो 2R+2L हो जाएगा, तो दिस पार्ट, और इस ये वाला जो हिस्सा है, तो ये क्या हो जाएगा, पाई आर हो जाएगा। तो दिस विल बी द पेरीमीटर पार्ट। आर वी क्लियर ऑन दिस? परम अभी क्लियर है पेरीमीटर? अभी एरिया पे आ जाते हैं। तो एरिया वाला हिस्सा, ये पूरा चीज एरिया है। तो एरिया के लिए क्या होता है, लेंथ इंटू ब्रेथ, तो लेंथ इंटू ब्रेथ इज 2R, दैट इज द एरिया ऑफ द रेक्टेंगल, प्लस पाई आर स्क्वायर सर्कल का होता है, तो पाई आर स्क्वायर, लेकिन उसका आधा, क्योंकि हाफ सर्कल ही है, तो दैट विल बी द एरिया। अभी क्लियर है सबको? परम, नाउ इज इट क्लियर?
यस मैम।
ओके, बता दो फॉर्मूला, अभी कर लोगे खुद से?
एक मिनट मैम।
हाँ लिख लो, फिर मुझे बता दो।
अब बता दो मैम।
On Friday, I will be taking your mock interview. So mock interview is like one-to-one session we will be having. So you will be connecting and I'll be asking you questions. अभी तक जितना हमने पढ़ा है उस पे आपको क्वेश्चन पूछूंगी, ठीक है? तो फेस टू फेस मॉक इंटरव्यू विल बी देयर ऑन फ्राइडे. अभी से बता रही हूँ तो आप अभी से थोड़ा पढ़ के रेडी रह सकते हो. Fourth question. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, I will explain the fourth question. Just give me a moment. So Vachit is asking me to explain the fourth question. So please focus here, everyone. So now there is a building given, okay, and we have to calculate the cost of painting the building wall, both interior and exterior. So this part is interior, this part is exterior. You need to accept area and cost of both interior and exterior wall. So first of all, when we want to discuss about the interior, so this is interior. So I1. So if whatever be the area for this wall, this is I2, I3, I4. This for this wall, it is I5, I6, I7, I8. ये सारे इंटीरियर हो गए. तो ये इतने एरियाज आपको यूजर से इनपुट लेने हैं. सो इफ यू कैलकुलेट दिस I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4 up to I8, that will be the area of interior. Area of interior. Similarly for exterior, so this is exterior wall. ये वाला हिस्सा, only this much. Then this is the one. तो वैसे ही exterior का आएगा E1, E2 up to E, I think so 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8, this will be the exterior area, area of exterior. So we do the, now the cost of painting the interior and exterior are different. घर के अंदर पेंट करना और घर के बाहर पेंट करना, उसमें एफर्ट अलग अलग होता है ना. So for the interior part, the cost, only one cost you will accept. So let's say this total area, let's assume, let's say the total area turned out to be 3000 square foot. So cost of painting is, let's say, 100 rupees per square foot. 100 rupees per square foot. So what you will do, you will multiply this one. So that will become your interior cost. Exterior area, let's say it came out to be 2500 and the cost is suppose 200 rupees. So you multiply this, that will be your exterior cost. You add this, you get the total cost. Is that clear, Vasant? Okay, so shall I erase this? जो मैंने लिखा है वो erase करो, चलेगा? Thank you. सब्जेक्ट में आप लिखोगे पाइथन जनरेटिव एआई बैच टेस्ट 1. ओके, और अपना नाम लिखोगे. Just send one email to me in which all the papers should be there. तो जो मल्टीपल अटैचमेंट आप 4 हैं तो 4 अटैचमेंट आप सेंड कर सकते हो. वन और टू बस मेल के है, क्यों बाकी नहीं बना? ठीक है, रुको मैं चेक करती हूँ. Okay, I received a mail from Param. If you want, you can leave. Janvi, I've received a mail from you also. I've received two mails from you. बाकी कर रहा हूँ. अच्छा, एक साथ करना है ना मेल? ठीक है, चलो कोई बात नहीं. So 15 more minutes left. Attendance sheet. Yeah, hold on for a second. I will share the attendance sheet. Yes, last 10 minutes, everyone. So will you be able to complete it in another 10 minutes? So Param, Janvi, Shreya, Suri, Laharika, Vasant, Isabella. You all will be able to complete it? Rajat? Okay, cool. Well, that is not needed, Vasant. Don't, if you want to do it, is fine. If you don't do, then also it is fine. I'm interested in the code part. Okay. So it's your choice. I mean, that is optional. Okay, Bharat, I will check that. Yes, I have received code from Param and Vasant. So we are almost towards the closing. So if I receive email, after like very long duration, I will not consider that. Okay. So maybe another 15 minutes, it is okay if you send me the mail. After that, means even if you send the mail, I may not consider it. Okay. We have to complete the task in a given time. So that should be all for today's session. Tomorrow we will continue with functions. Okay, everyone. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Those who have not taken the admission, please take the admission as soon as possible. We will soon be closing this free link. Okay. Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Take care.